Shake it out, Naz. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Naz just felt like she had to force the dance today. It wasn't naturally.
Yeah, it wasn't as joyful as previous days.
Happy Wednesday, and welcome to Live from Rabs from inside Rabs Country Lanes.
Yes.
How are you today,
Here we are. I'm okay. You know, news is kind of all over the place, and some of it is a little disconcerting. So, you know, when you think you're working towards something, and then something comes along, it
ripped you right out,
and knocks your feet out from under you. So, yeah. So
I have to say, I really was in a very good mood today until about, I don't know, 20 or so minutes ago.
Yeah.
And not that I'm in a terrible mood. To your point, right? You just
yeah, because you feel like things are going along, and it's not like we didn't expect something was going to happen, but things had been going so well.
And if you can't hear us, I think you need to turn your volume up, but that's not going to help because you can't hear us. So I'll type. Turn your volume up.
So you feel like things are going in a very positive direction, and then somebody makes a left-hand turn in front of you, and
so I'm not cranky, but I might be crazed. I think that's the
I am overstimulated.
Yeah, that could do it. I don't know if you noticed a new scent, a change. I didn't use the orange today.
No, I didn't.
Can you smell it? You smell it?
Yeah, I do smell. What did you get there, Frank?
Lemon.
What'd you get?
Lemon.
I do smell the lemon.
It's a little calming, maybe. That's all right.
Yes.
No need to be sorry. A little try it for the calming effect today. I hope everybody's doing well. Today is day 3 of phase 2. And Naz, for those that follow me on Facebook or Instagram and see my photos, I mean,
you had a wonderful.
I did a little bragging last night, but I had to. I mean, I had the opportunity to go out and enjoy al fresco dining, a meal that I didn't cook myself, that wasn't cooked by my family.
And wasn't takeout?
It wasn't takeout. It really was very nice. It was nice. It's been for me, it was 101 days since I went out, because fortunately my Anthony and I made a pact right before this went down, knowing that this is something was coming. We're going out, and we went out like 3 nights in a row right before this.
So you shoved it all in.
Shoved it all in. And we had 3. He didn't join me one night. I had dinner with another friend, and it was great. But last night, 101 days of them finally getting out, I have to say, not your typical experience, of course, as we know that we know. But we went to Angelina's to go visit our friends, and I have to say, it was a very pleasant experience.
It looks beautiful.
So for those, if you haven't, I do want to know if anybody watching so far has gone out. Tell us where you've gone out, and I want to hear a little bit about your experience. I've heard some horror stories. I've heard some mostly great and good experiences. I have to say, we really had a great experience last night. Very different out in the yard. If you've ever been there, and outside the bocce court, she had all tables. They spent time. They leveled it off because it was
right. It was kind of sloped. Yes.
So flattened it out. I did ask her if they have a pool on what waiter is going to drop a tray first, because it's not your typical floor.
Right.
And so she says, no, don't even say it. So last night nobody dropped.
Okay. Good.
We were there for a while. We hung out, and the cool part about being outside, especially in her venue, because it's so big out there, and not all of it was filled with tables. There are other sitting areas, so you can go sit in on the couch, and if you wanted to smoke a cigarette, you had to go out to the side. And so for those that, I have to say, it was just
nice.
It was nice,
well planned out.
They built a bar outside, which she'll tell you. At one time, they built a bar out there, and then they were told they couldn't have a physical permanent structure, so they had a removable rolling type situation. Right. And then now they said, no, you can have a permanent structure. So I have to say, very nice. No tents. Now they do have the large tent, which they'll be able to use also. Right. But umbrellas, just
Very nice.
and it was a nice night.
It was perfect.
A little
night.
sticky, but it was nice.
Yeah,
So
it was a nice night.
Fritz says he went to La Con. Oh, I didn't know La Candela was doing outdoor dining. So La
Very
Candela, interesting. Are they using the side parking lot for outdoor dining? Tell us, Fritz. I haven't been there in a long time, and I like La Candela.
I haven't been there either.
But I did not know. We did share a unofficial list the other day, and I'll drop it into the comments again of kind of the places that we know are open.
Yeah. I think we may be going to Beso tonight.
All right. Oh, that looks cool.
They did. Looks like nice. It looks very, very nice. So and it's right in my neighborhood there. So we may be dropping in.
You know what? That sounds like a good idea. I could,
I'll have a picture or two of sangria.
That's good. So some sangria. So talk about Beso for a moment there. Your favorite? Now, when I go there, I personally like to do the bunch of appetizers.
That's
order two.
What I
then
do.
Okay.
That's what
so what's like your very? If you had to pick one, I'll give you two. A meat and a non-meat appetizer.
Oh boy, that's tough. I like so much. I'd have to say the lamb chops.
Okay.
And non-meat, I would have to say the gambas, the rellenos gambas, the shrimp and the plantain.
Oh, all right.
So those are probably the two things that, besides the guacamole, which is fabulous,
the guacamole,
and their chips are amazing. Okay. And then the premium sangria, the premium. It doesn't matter, red, white. Sometimes I even get the flavored ones, raspberry or whatever they happen to be featuring. So that's this is interesting. I didn't get to see this list.
So it's not really spaced out. I mean, I've gone different lines, but this is an unofficial list that we've spent some time putting together. That we know of. I mean, it's not perfect. It's not complete. Mm-hmm. But we could keep talking about food. However, tomorrow is Thursday, and we're going to have Pam Silvestri with us. So we'll continue the food talk tomorrow. We'll talk about all the restaurants doing al fresco style dining. We'll be able to add to this list. But this is like our unofficial list of places that we know of, friends in the business, people that have shared on Facebook. So if you haven't, by all means, if you can, go check it out. Yeah. And Fritz Clara has said, right alongside the driveway.
Right.
Fans and an air cooler. And of course, the sangria was delicious.
Of course.
I like, I love the salad. I love that salad. It's so simple, but at La Candela. Yeah. So, but tomorrow, not only will we be with Pam and have Pam on the show, but we're going to be with Pam in person. Because we're taking this
on location
on the road. So tomorrow's show with Pam Silvestri
is it me on the scooter there, like an old person scooter?
That is not an old person scooter. Okay. That is like a young person kind of driving like a pizza like delivery, like a Vespa.
Okay,
that could be you. I mean, it looks like it might be a male.
Yeah. Okay.
It could be a female.
Like old person on a.
It could be a female. It's nondescript.
Okay. Yes, I'm super excited about that.
Are you a little sensitive about me calling you old?
No. You know me. That does not faze me in the least.
And add Cole's Dockside open for outdoor dining too. Like Cole's, and it's interesting. That's a cool little venue.
Cool little corner, yeah.
Be sure to join us tomorrow. Pam Silvestri, Naz, and I together. We're gonna have some food, and you'll see us tomorrow live where we go.
TBA. To be announced.
Oh, to be announced. Something to look forward to. But we're looking forward to actually going out and being somewhere that's not necessarily inside Rabs, just for a change of scenery.
Or on the front steps.
Yeah, the front steps was tough. I mean, and of course it was a beautiful day. But of course we used the front steps. We had the show that we had the Barnes is on. The sun was right in our face.
Right. It was a little windy too.
But
it was different.
Yeah. Oh, Fritz even agrees. He likes salad. He doesn't know why the salad is delicious, but it is, and he uses the bread to sop up that dressing.
It's usually the dressing.
It's like that.
They have a special.
It's almost like barbecue tomato flavor. I don't know what it is. It's like a French.
I was gonna
dressing,
say almost like
but it's dark.
Like a Thousand Island kind of French dressing kind of thing.
No clumpy stuff. No relish or anything.
No. But it's got that because it's kind of sweet.
Yeah. Jimmy is not here today. Jimmy took Wednesday off. I think Jimmy is fishing because it's beautiful out. So notice how quiet it is today. No Jimmy and Piero.
Very
Usually
quiet.
about showtime, they ramp up the noise.
Yes. And the scooter is there.
The scooter, the scooter's out front.
Scooter is.
The scooter's been up front. He hasn't. I guess he really hasn't been using it. So we opened the show a little bit without disappointment. So of course, the number one question we always get: hey, when are we reopening? And so we've been very consistent the last week or so. We are in phase 4. If all goes well, that would be July 20th. However, although the governor on Friday stopped his daily coronavirus briefings, I think he's had 2 already this week. Right? He spoke Monday briefly.
Wednesday. Yes, I think he spoke Monday.
And then he spoke today. I think he spoke Monday. I'm not certain, but I thought he did. I spoke today, a little update. Now, we, along with the other New Jersey, Connecticut, the tri-state area, has added the travel ban. So if you're traveling in and out, 14-day self-quarantine, not welcoming others, which is the opposite of what
was happening to us. Correct.
So for those that have started to make plans with traveling, I mean, a little bit of a halt to that. So we'll see. And that, in addition to that, there were some other there was additional information on phase 4 openings, entertainment venues, low risk, high risk, not really identifying. And so we don't know. We believe that bowling alleys and centers, however you want to call it these days, because the governor's office calls them both. We are currently listed as a high risk indoor entertainment, which we can certainly argue that we shouldn't be. So we really don't know if that pushes us off from the beginning of a phase 4 opening, or it truly limits our opening, because a low risk entertainment now today said 33% capacity.
Right.
So,
but they're not like the actual conversation is it 33% of occupancy of people or 33% of lanes or usable space.
Right.
Correct.
Which we believe is we have information that tells us it's just based on your occupancy, which then we could argue, hey, that's fine. But at the same time, we believe it's usable space.
Yeah.
So which, if you were a restaurant, that's 33% of your tables. That's 30% for us, 33% of your, but again, we don't know. Or 25%, depending on the type of, there are 2 numbers, 33% and 25%. And we don't know where we fall in. So we've been very optimistic. We've been getting towards something, and a little shot in the butt today, kick right in the butt. So we'll see. We'll figure it out. We're in this together, right? But it's a little disheartening because we need to prepare. So no different than the restaurant speaking out and needing to be prepared. You can't just say, okay, you could open tomorrow. It just doesn't work.
It just takes too much time to get everything geared up and get things into place and staff up to date and
ordering food, drinks, liquor. I mean, it's not just, if we were if a retail store, a little bit different. Maybe a retail store maybe could order product in the meantime. Maybe could stock some shelves. We don't have that. We don't have that opportunity, because if we order stuff today, knowing that we're going to open up in a week, and then you tell us, no, well, that's going bad.
Right.
Now, I will say they were very good about the restaurants. They gave them a date and they worked to it and made it happen. We're hoping that we do get a date at some point. And then we can,
and then at least we can work with that.
And then, but they need to give us the guidance to what
which they really kind of are.
And maybe today's announcement truly was putting the guidelines in for phase 4 openings.
Right. Maybe it's just more clarification because again, we had said from the beginning, we weren't getting clear answers of where we stood in things. And maybe we just did get clarification and we really don't like it.
Well, that's true. I mean, we're not liking it right now. I had right after that message I got from others, and then went online and started watching myself because I've been staying away from it.
Right.
I've been staying away from the outlets and just going straight to the source. So going to the governor's state website, and so the accountant called right as that was happening, and I was not in a. I mean, that was just nice, but
he just kind of caught you at a bad moment.
Yeah. What's the matter? What's the matter? You want to know what the matter is? You know my financial situation. Let's talk about this.
Yeah.
And it really wasn't about that.
Look at the time.
Yeah.
Look at the time.
Oh, and I have to say, I was speaking with Teresa in the office, but even the accountant, we're all on the same page, and he's struggling too, trying to help his clients get through this and understand. And this has got to be a challenge for accountants as CPAs right now, because you're still an unknown. Many of us got loans, maybe not enough money. So
Look
how
at
do you
all
go
the
get
advice.
more money?
I've talked to my accountants more times in the last month and a half, let's say 3 months, than, normally it's just like, okay, I need this, I need that. You got it. What's going on? But now it's like at every turn.
Yeah.
It's like, because I'm not sure what to do sometimes. So I got to pick up the phone and go, so this is what's happening. And, they're always, we're very, very lucky to have an amazing accountant. And, but yeah, they're dealing with a lot of information too, and then trying to disperse it to their clients. And, everybody's in kind of a little bit of a different position. So, they have to take it, interpret it, and then, get it out to whoever they're talking to. So,
and because it's changing daily.
Yes.
And I have to say, they've been really good. Even your CPA, who we know very well, and he's been open and sharing information. And then, but they'll also tell you, mine's the same way. Hey,
your situation may
today it's this, and tomorrow it might be this, and no different than for those in business that applied for the PPP loans, the Payroll Protection Program loan, with forgiveness opportunities.
Right.
There's they've changed the rules of forgiveness, a little bit more leeway. Which
they gave a little bit.
I was
more.
very thankful for. I mean,
yes,
we won't see 100% forgiveness.
No,
but we'll see
some of it
much better than the 75-25 split.
Right.
However, even from the banking perspective, I sat on the chamber and the SIEDC have done a great job at providing resources. And so last week, the SIEDC held a Zoom call with 3 of the major banks here, and they talked about the program. And the great part is how 3 leaders in these banks made this presentation, and all with great information, working together to disseminate. Right. And I have to really kudos to Victory Northfield and Empire for doing that.
Yeah.
And but they said, and Robin Lefkowitz of Northfield made a great point. It's going to change. There's still there's some words there's some beat on the street that says, oh, so we'll see. And hopefully for businesses to get back up and running, these little things can help. So I mean, and I digress a little bit, but it's a little bit part of the reopening.
Right. And I know there's even more bipartisan legislature for more opportunities for loans. That's going to be coming up. That's
right. So if you didn't get in on it,
through now, that will be a whole nother, and it's going to be specifically for people who haven't been able to take advantage of the previous stuff that's been available.
Right. Yeah. If you already applied, you couldn't. And then the funny part, the PPP loan, you could only apply for if you were in the agriculture business. And so now that, to your point, they've opened that back up, and it'll be great to see that more can take advantage. Or, hey, are there opportunities for other additional dollars for the existing businesses that may have taken a loan?
Right.
Because that's going to be an issue too. And so for phase 4 businesses like ourselves, we did not get enough money to help us through anything. And so now you have to be creative and trying to find ways to get additional funding.
Right.
But do you need another loan?
Correct. Something that you're still going to have to be paying back a year from now, that you don't even know what your business is going to look like a year from now.
But do you need a loan to get you through it?
Correct.
And so what does that look like? And that's going to be that's going to be the big question. So like I said, we're in this together. We will we'll all persevere.
Yeah. Listen, it's we're lucky to have partners, like help each other, and people that we know are sticking by us. I predict we'll be fine. It's just right now it's struggle.
And because it's the
Some days are
unknown.
tough.
It's the unknown, right? So phase 2 businesses that have gotten open, I mean, they're not 100%, but they're doing what they can and making the best of it, which is awesome. And we're excited to see that. Somebody I saw last night owns a children's clothing store, and they were not very happy about not being able to open. And then basically the conversation turns, I own a children's clothing store. Only so many people are in my place at one time. Like I'm struggling to, I'm ready to open my place. Like you haven't given me a logical reason why I can't be open.
Right.
If I had 100, if my business relied like this on hundreds of people being in the place at a time, I understand. I have
maybe
at
2 or 3.
Right. At one time.
Right.
They were not very good conversation.
But will they be able to open now with retail opening?
I don't know.
Because
I didn't see
heard,
yes, they should be able to open.
Retail can open, but the malls are now, because on the Zoom call this morning, the Bucks Zoom call, Jerry Amorosi was talking about the malls not being able to open because they fall into that same category about the high risk with a lot of people in one space. So meanwhile, you have some stores in the mall that are not open, or that are open, but the mall itself is closed.
Right.
So, that obviously directly affects their business. So
so the way that if I understood it correctly, the mall stores can open, providing like curbside pickup, but you can't, to your point, you can't allow people in the building. I mean, I can't now for certain things. I mean, if I'm looking for somebody like Jerry, if I'm looking for a specific piece of jewelry and they could be creative and send me pictures. I mean, don't get me wrong, it doesn't replace the
experience.
And we had Corey on the show and we talked a little bit about that.
Right.
But for him being in a mall, that's got to be more trying, because then how do you sell something? It may be a little bit easier for him than somebody that's buying clothing, because you buy clothing, it's an impulse buy for most people. Yes. I might be looking for a shirt, pants, whatever it might be, and I'm going to see it, but I have to see it, touch, feel, and try it.
Yeah, it's
and you can't do that with curbside.
Somebody is
pick up. It's Wednesday. Is that the?
Oh, it looks
that
like
is
Rob.
the exterminator.
Want me to text Liz?
Yes, we see you. I think his days are off. Doesn't he usually come on Tuesdays?
I thought so.
I thought Tuesday was the extermination day, so he really threw us off today. But no Jimmy on Wednesday, but the exterminator is coming in. And Gennaro's is open, so which is a good thing. They did change their hours a little bit this week, so I believe we are open Monday through Friday,
right?
Closing on Saturday and Sunday. So for those that weren't aware, Gennaro's open for takeout and delivery Monday to Friday. Yeah, if your hair salon is in the mall, you can't get a haircut. Yeah. That's the trouble. Again, businesses in the mall retail space have an advantage in some cases. And in this case, it's a large disadvantage. So you can't go and be there, but they have foot traffic and everything that comes along with being in a mall. At the same time, they have higher rents in some cases, or low. It depends on the type of business you have. But yeah, that's a struggle. Many people were very happy to be able to go to the salons and get their hair did today and this week. So congratulations to those who no longer have gray hair that were able to get a trim.
I'm not getting colored though. I got a couple little grays popping in. I'm just gonna ride it.
Just a little. Oh,
I'm gonna let it go.
You're gonna let it go?
Yeah, it's nothing. It's a couple little grays.
All right, Elsa.
There it is.
So just to blow out a nice trim. Yeah.
Yeah. Just to,
And-
I
And
definitely
anybody
decide.
that's using the excuse of the quarantine, beard and long hair, I mean, that's got to fade at some point. There's only so far we can go.
We have to have Jimmy Otto back soon.
We do. I think we need to have, but when we have Jimmy back, I think we have, thank you, Liz. We have to add the shaving of the beard challenge. There's got to be something.
Absolutely.
Hey, you know what? I didn't mention it yesterday, and it was on my list. What's wrong? Nothing's wrong with gray hair. I've embraced my gray hair that I have. As I sat with a friend the other day, and he looked at me and he says, "Wow, you got a lot of gray hair." Well, thanks. And my brother Tommy, who is has lighter hair. I don't. If he has gray hair, you would know. He says he doesn't have it, but I don't think he does. So I have that.
Tommy, it doesn't seem to be a gray hair kind of guy.
No, no. I mean, my uncle and my dad.
Doesn't really worry.
My dad dyed his hair, and then it's a different story. But yeah, no, I definitely have the gray hair. So anyway, so yesterday was the primary election.
Yes.
And I have to say, I just want to talk about my experience.
Okay.
My polling place is literally right up the block from my house.
Me too.
So it's always a wonderful thing. I go right up Elkhart
Yep.
Street, straight to PS 37.
Yep.
And the folks there have always been great. There was maybe 3 people voting. So walked in with my mask on, went straight to my table. And of course, you always have to remember what district you are, right?
Right.
That's one of the things you walk in and you're like, I didn't know this. I don't want to have to stop at the table to look me
for
up.
them to look me
I
up.
know the answer to this. And so we happen to be District 58. So and it's always in the same spot, except for one election.
They moved
Didn't
the
look at the
tables?
sign. I just went there and I'm like, no. And I said, what'd you move people for? She goes, oh, I don't know. Anyway, checked in. Is this you? They didn't ask for my ID, which that's another conversation.
Yeah.
They now use the iPads, which they used in the last election, which I thought was good. You signed on the iPad instead of the book, but then they let you keep the pen. So it was a pen with a stylus.
Uh-oh.
So I actually brought my own pen to use in the booth. Right. Just thinking, okay.
Right.
Nope, they had pens on the table that you use the stylus on the iPad, and then I put it down. She goes, "Oh, you could keep that." So I said, "Oh, I get a sticker and a pen today for voting." So very nice. Voted, no problem. And then of course the folders got to go back to someone.
Yes.
So she took it, and then they had a separate pile for the folders.
For the used ones.
But looks like they thought it out. I mean, the process, it was fine. That polling site historically, no matter what type of election, doesn't get busy to begin with. I don't know if it's the times that I go. Like I always see somebody I know,
right?
But it's never crazy. So, but I've heard others say that they had a busy. A primary election is not usually busy.
Yeah, usually not busy.
So if that's any indication of what could happen on election day, and I would imagine more people go out on election day, but just as far as the ease and the thought process of making sure people feel safe, there was Purell available.
I wonder if the absentee ballot voting had anything to do with the crowds or lack of crowds. I did hear a lot of people say that they never received their absentee ballots. So, who knows? It was a primary, and primaries are normally lighter.
Yeah.
I unfortunately did not vote this primary. But
did you have a contested in your district? Did you have a contested election that you would have been concerned about? I don't think so.
No, there was no.
And I hate to say that you're always concerned because to me it's important. I believe in voting. I think it's part of. And if you don't vote, you can't. Especially in their general election, I don't care what.
You can't complain.
Right. It doesn't matter what it's for. You can't complain if you didn't take part. And the more, I think it bothers me a little bit about the voting structure. People always say, well, my vote doesn't matter because of my district.
Oh, it does.
And I will argue that every point, because you know what? For one person that says that, many others say it. And yes, you might all vote the same way. It doesn't make a difference. You really, if you can, you should exercise your right. It's your right. Go
part of what,
support
and that
whomever you want to support.
Complacency, and that is what what some politicians are hoping happens, because a low turnout does favor some candidates. And listen, I honestly, and I hope I'm right, that with everything that's going on in the world right now, that and so many people feel energized and ready to go and protest, that the real, and nothing against protesting, it is definitely the way to get a voice heard, but voting is where real change comes.
Oh, it
is having the right people that you want in office representing you.
Yep.
That's how change gets made. So let's hope that people get out and vote.
Yeah, I'm all about rock the vote. I mean, you got to go out and you got to vote.
Vote.
And if you choose not to, I mean, that's your choice as well. On Staten Island yesterday, I believe we had, I know, the Democratic and Republican side both had contested elections. But if you read the advance today, I think it was more on the Republican side. You had for the Congress seat, you had two individuals. For the Assembly seat, 2 people. On the Democratic side, I know one was contested. I believe one of the other seats was not contested. Yeah. So people may have felt like, hey, I don't have to go out. I support. It was Max Rose for Congress. Diane Savino, I know, was up for re-election. Right. And it really depends. One, of course, you only vote in your party. So like in my district, it was only for the congressional seat. Our assembly, it's this assembly district that was up, which is Nicole's current seat.
Correct.
So, I mean, it wasn't a lot to be considered yesterday, but it's enough to make a statement and go out there and
absolutely
and vote. Christine Carnisi saying she had a very similar experience. 2 candidates for Congress, and I think the same. So go out and vote. Election day, whoever you feel. I do believe it's important. And my opinion, you don't have to agree with me, and that's okay. But my point of that conversation was, it was a pleasant experience, and I hope that pleasant experience could be moved towards the general election.
Yeah.
And the whole absentee ballot thing, I will say, I've applied twice for absentee ballot. Not in this case, because I just feel like if I could go to the store, I can go vote.
Exactly.
I didn't think it was that important for me. But for senior citizens, I think it is important. But you then don't want to then apply for it and not get it. So twice I did it. I was away both times. And I didn't, the first time I did not receive a ballot. And I sent it in plenty of time ahead. The second time I did receive my ballot and sent it in. But then there's the question, does it get recorded? And that's the issue they're having today. The one election was very close, and they had to go back and they were re-looking at the absentee ballots. I think if the numbers are about 4,000 absentee, I mean, which is nothing, but
still it's enough.
It's enough, but it's in comparison of the population, it's really not a lot of people, and it's a small percentage. It's a larger percentage of the voting population than considerably, but it's still a low number. Well, about 4,000 ballots had to be considered and counted, and that's a lot of people that took advantage of that.
Yeah.
Not enough people go out and do it. So we'll see. Check out silive.com for the latest updates on yesterday's results, and then election day, before you know it, it'll be November, and by then we'll be bowling. We will be bowling by then,
one way or another.
Live from Rabs will continue in some way, shape, or fashion by then, and I'm looking forward to the fall. Fall is a wonderful time.
You know what I'm looking forward to?
What are you looking forward to?
2 things, Frank.
Okay, 1. Oh.
You know me, so you know what both of them are. Number 1, the promos have started running for Hamilton, which is going to be on.
I thought number 1 was going to be the baseball season.
No, Hamilton is number 1. Baseball is number 2.
Wrong.
Yeah. Baseball is number 2.
Hamilton. The commercial looks great.
It looks
so July 3rd on Disney Plus. It looks it's a movie. It's not really a movie, but they're calling it a movie production of the play. So it's the way that they took the camera angles and made it, but it's really the play,
right? And the musical. I did watch an interview with Lin-Manuel Miranda, and he was talking about how because they had planned on doing this. They had planned on doing this. But it was not going to be released until next year.
Well, they did do something with PBS. It's like a one-time thing. They did do something, but it was literally a camera in the back of the room, and it wasn't like this.
So, right. So what part of the conversation was was that it's not really like a movie. It's not gonna be like it's a play. It's a movie of the play. It's not going to be like you're going to be on location in different places, and
no, it's a stage production.
Is the stage production,
right?
Which
with crazy camera angles,
with the original cast, and I it's hard for me to speak about it, but it's going to be
July 3rd.
July 3rd. I am actually considering buying one of those like a movie screen type thing. And putting it in my yard.
Just watch it on your.
I don't know if I'll be. I want to be enveloped by it, and I will definitely be singing and performing every.
I'm sure you will.
Like I do in the office.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. It's funny. We had this little debate in my house the other night. We were having dinner, and I said I'm excited for the production because I want to see it.
You've seen it, so
we're Broadway people.
Right.
We love the theater
yes.
as much as we can. I mean, it has gotten very expensive, so you can't do it a lot.
Yeah.
But when we do get to go, I mean, we bargain hunt and look and do it.
Yeah.
And then fortunately I had the only reason I got the opportunity to see Hamilton was because I had won some tickets. And I have to say it's a great show. Now, I like the show. And I said this when I saw it.
Yep.
I do believe there's a little bit of that it's a little overrated for the production. No.
You're entitled to your own education.
I like it. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. You have the right to be wrong. Yeah. You reserve the right to be wrong. No, for me, I think it's great. I love the story. I like the music. Where it falls, the only place it falls slightly short, in my opinion, it is very hard to follow. Because of the music, very fast paced, and not because of the type of music, just the way that it's done.
Right.
And if you go into that theater very
not knowing
blind,
correct,
I think you'd have a very hard time.
Yeah, I think there were a lot of music. I can remember when I first saw Phantom. The first time I saw Phantom,
same thing with Phantom.
I went to see it not knowing anything about it. Yeah. And I was, you try to follow the story. I mean, the beat, but you kind of try to follow it through the music. And so you know what? I went back and I listened to the music and I read the story. So the second time I had a much better appreciation of what was going on. And with this in particular, it's kind of like I want to call it like a paradox, but it's about a setback in history, but it's using modern music to convey the message. So, but yeah, I
love the music. I'm just saying I agree. I don't know if the hype matches the. I don't see the hype. I thought it's very good. I like it.
I understand.
I listen to the music often. I like. It's funny because I've now listened to the music from In the Heights, and
there's other stuff,
and I haven't seen it, and I think that's a better production.
Right. Well,
in a different fashion.
That's his first.
So it's like it's
different.
Everybody takes it different. Now, Phantom, to your point, I probably would have felt the same way had I not seen the musical or have I not seen the movie or listened to the music before.
Right.
But having finally only seeing the production, somebody's outside. It might be Russ, and it's Russ. He's calling me. We'll have to send somebody a message. I'll let Tina.
I'm getting Liz.
I only saw it recently, and I think it's fantastic, and mainly because we wanted to see the lead Phantom, and
I
Jeremy
have plans
Stoll,
to see it again too.
Jeremy Stoll has a production that he did at the Avenel at Avenel.
Mm-hmm. I saw that. Yes, very good, very good.
Awesome. And so when we met him, we had asked him, when are you going to be Phantom? And he told us. And so we had arranged to get tickets through him. And we had these awesome seats. They weren't that expensive. And then we got to go on stage afterwards. We went to his dressing room. We spoke with him. We held.
Did you get to swing from the chandelier?
No, the chandelier was on. It's funny. They leave it on the stage
On the
until
stage,
the next production.
yeah.
No. After they don't move it until the following day.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's why I figured it was still there. Maybe you get to sit on the chandelier.
So it was a really cool experience. But I will say, I truly enjoyed that. It was very different.
Yeah.
But I can see that. And now, but Broadway is looking at a January opening.
Yeah, that's it's crazy to think about that.
Did you ask Liz to open the door? Or are we sending Tina?
I asked Liz.
So you never know what's going to happen while we're sitting here.
Nope. So anyway, that's number one thing that I'm excited about.
So
and
Broadway in January.
Yes.
Before you come back to the other thing, because that's another conversation. Yeah. Segue. So Broadway in January, which when they first made the announcement of them shutting down through August, it kind of makes sense because that happens to become the slowest time. But now fully putting it off until January. Now, yes, a lot of tourism, so that could be a concern for them.
Yeah.
But now they're losing the holiday season,
which is big.
Yeah. And if they're going to reopen, I would imagine they're going to. I didn't see the date, so I don't know if it's mid-January. But the beginning of January is usually 2-for-1s. That's their slowest time, which is when we like to take advantage. Go at the beginning of January, after all the tourists are gone.
Right. So it'll be interesting when how that pans out.
Yeah,
I do miss that. I mean, I love.
And some of the shows haven't made it.
Live music and
they pulled Frozen, right? They pulled Frozen.
Yes.
Which was an excellent production. And Disney is very smart. It looks, from my understanding, when it comes to Disney, it looks like they were going to. They're looking to bring back Beauty and the Beast for an encore for an anniversary presentation.
Right.
So I wonder if that's going to go in that space.
That's a really.
They had if you read anything about the Broadway blogs, they're working on other musicals too.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. He was at this door and then I thought he walked around. I'm sorry.
Maybe he's inside.
So okay. What's the other thing?
The other thing is baseball, Frank. I see you got your Mets orange on.
I put some orange on today. This was supposed to make me feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
So 60 games.
60 games. July 1st, I believe that they're
that week. Yep. Right before the holiday.
Reporting to camp. And
so we can do this.
We can maybe bring back one or two, even though they're being forced to play. But so it's going to be exciting to see baseball again. It is
good. They should be forced to play.
Listen, Frank. You preach it to the choir.
Oh, you can tell Liz. Never mind. Oh, Russ, there you go. Oh, Liz let him in. He came to the pro shop. So, hi, Russ.
Hi, Russ.
Russ happened to is visiting us today. So. Yes. So they should be forced to play. I'm excited about that. We've got to get to something. And I understand their little hesitance, but baseball is finally back.
Well, yeah, you know what?
And as we're sitting here, thank you, Jennifer Murphy. Let's go Cubs. I mean, yeah, sure. Go Cubs. Fine. Yeah, sure.
Everybody has their team, and that's good.
Yeah.
That's what I
go
like
Mets.
about it.
See, our fans know us. Maybe that's why the ones that pay attention know. And listen, yesterday we had a Met fan on. I mean, we try to keep this.
Yeah, Met based. Anyway, so it'll be nice when baseball's back. And maybe take the focus off, everything else for a little while.
Just entertainment.
Yeah.
Just some entertainment. I think that's so important. And we need that. We certainly do need that. I'm looking forward to it. I am looking forward to something. It'll be interesting because then some of the cuckoo rules go into effect. Extra innings. It starts with a man on second
base. They've been doing that in the World Baseball Classic, I think, already.
Yes.
So it'll be interesting to see how.
I think are they still stuck on making the game faster? Is that I'm assuming all of these
part
things.
of it,
And
moving the
replay
game
didn't
along.
make it faster. So
No, it certainly
replay,
didn't help.
and that was supposed to be one of the things to make it faster, and that
Right.
slowed it. I mean,
Yes.
in some cases, really slowed it down.
And the DH in the National League, which I don't like.
But is that supposed to be a permanent thing?
They've been kind of pushing that a little bit.
Yeah, we talked about.
And I don't like
Gary
that,
mentioned it yesterday when we were talking with Gary. No, you mentioned it. I don't know. Listen, I think everybody should play.
Yeah.
When it comes to, I've always believed the National League rules. There, I believe everybody should.
Only because,
Right.
if you're a pitcher and you're going to get up and you're going to brush somebody back, you should have to get in the batter's box and
You should have
take your medicine.
Everybody gets their equal opportunity. Yeah, and I understand from the pitcher's perspective, it gives them opportunity to maybe not get hurt so fast. But give me a break. I mean, come on. I think everybody should more so because if I want to throw a ball at you, I want to throw a ball at you.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I don't
understand to a
think
certain
I've
degree, but in the olden days, when pitchers were pitchers and they pitched 110 pitches a game and they bat,
They weren't crybabies and making less money.
that's all right. There's not many Nolan Ryans and Tom Seavers left in this world, so
No, well, there aren't any Walter Cronkites left in this world.
no,
either.
there aren't that many.
Yeah, so baseball, and then did I miss the detail on the postseason? It's so
I didn't see anything
it's
about the
10.
postseason.
I think it's 10 games
for each against
team
each, yes,
in your division,
yes.
and then I didn't understand this: the 5 games against your team in the other league. So I don't know how there was a term that they specifically used.
Oh, maybe like Mets against Yankees, maybe.
Yeah, but
Not
I mean
right.
there aren't that many. I mean, you can't use. It's not city based, but it's got to be.
Yeah, but I mean, they might
Unless
have
it's regional.
identified.
They've identified
Rivals.
some sort of. I don't know if it's. Yeah, it
If
wasn't.
somebody
rival,
knows that, clarify that for us.
but, how they determine who the American.
Anyway.
And so, thank you, Uncle John Laspina. He just piped in. I think he just joined us. We were talking a little bit about the governor's plans before, and so he's reminding us that, sadly, the governor pushed us back a little bit further, and so New York bowling proprietors need a plan, and he's helping us make that happen. And so, we're great. He's reminding us that we're great. Which thank you, Uncle John.
Thank you.
But John, we're all in this elected officials, so we
Yeah.
certainly believe.
Yeah, we're trying to push things forward.
Yes, and we've made our phone calls. We've been pushing our legislatures and our elected officials, and they're on our side. But we need to get the rest of the industry to band together, and that's his point. One of the conversations, we've got over 300 bowling centers throughout the state, and sadly, we weren't getting the full support. And in some cases, some of these centers don't
They
open
close in the
in the summer.
summer.
But now, the further we get pushed, the further
It affects them now too.
it always affects them.
Yeah.
So what does it look like? And in New York State, we do have a bunch of centers in chains. And if the chains don't help speak out, that's the other challenge that we have. too.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know why they wouldn't, but
Yeah.
it's kind of silly.
And by then, we'll enter the fall. We've been planning the East Coast Bowling Centers Convention, which is our proprietor convention for
Mhm.
bowling centers on the East Coast.
Right.
And it's been exciting because, sadly, with Bowl Expo being canceled, which was supposed to take place over the holiday week,
This becomes a big
we're-
thing now. Yeah.
some of the events are being part of the East Coast Convention. And so we've been planning and looking forward and getting our fellow proprietors excited about having something
It's
to
wonderful.
look forward to. So, for us as an industry, we need to get rolling and back together and
Yeah.
back working, but doing it together. is what
It'd
it
be
is.
interesting to see in general how different like how this convention does and how somebody else is at the door.
Today is the day of interruptions at the door.
Anyway, actually, I thought it was Thomas. Anyway, how different businesses, conventions, go forward now. Will they have more regional events, and will there be maybe less of a big national event? It'd be interesting.
Well,
and how well attended they are.
I mentioned that the Rotary International Convention was supposed to be in Hawaii in the beginning of June, and so that was canceled, and for many reasons, especially because just traveling from around the world. Right. So next year's convention takes place in Taipei, which again, who knows what that will look like then too.
Yeah.
However, I was planning on going to Hawaii as my first.
Why would you not?
Here in the States, why not? But they moved it to a virtual convention. So I don't know if I'd advocate for. They're doing a very good job. It's very different. But a big piece of a convention is getting together and networking with your peers. And so
absolutely
in this environment, it takes that piece away. What they've done a great job at making Orange Aid, I'm going to call it, with oranges and lemons. I mean, they just did what they could. But it started with a general session, pre-recorded, not live. So it wasn't live, which I think bothered me a little bit.
Yeah,
but it was pre-recorded. It was set up like it was live on YouTube, Saturday and Sunday, an hour and 15-minute sessions. Very good, excellent speakers. Two Rotarians hosted it that are newscasters in their local markets. They had some live entertainment from Hawaii. I mean, they were very creative with what they did. And then each day this week, there are different seminars and sessions to take advantage of and learn about learn about how to enhance your club. And it's weird. But sitting there and then just taking it in, not live, is a little challenging.
Yeah.
Now, for a convention that has tens of thousands of people, it makes it difficult to do live events.
Yeah.
So, it'll be interesting to see, to your point, how that moves forward with conventions, whether it be regionally based, virtual.
Yeah.
Virtual learning is great. We do a lot of it. Right. And how do we make that viable in the convention space?
I think you might end up with more participation. But like you said, I still think there's that need for that roundtable, that networking opportunity for people to kind of commiserate and share their experiences and just kind of so this is what I'm up against. What are you guys doing?
Especially now. So we're all going through this, and everybody's in different phases and throughout the country. So it'll be interesting to see by the time we get to October, the end of October, how we all got to where we are, and then how do we go ahead? And the theme of the convention really looks at the education side is what's next.
Right.
How do we're rebounding, we're back in business.
How do we,
what does it look like moving forward? Right. So the convention business, for anybody that's in hospitality, you certainly know that. And the trade shows are a big part of conventions. So like for Rotary, what they did, they call it the House of Friendship. And instead of you visit booths in person, but online they took what they call the AutoCAD, the map of the trade show, and then you could click on the booths. And instead of just like if you go to a regular, I'll use Bowl Expo for example, there's the only information that's on there is the listing, address, contact.
Correct.
They went up to the next level, and now because you can't talk to someone, there's so much information that you could pull. So it was fun. It was actually fun to actually click around and look at the different organizations. And I did click on things that I probably wouldn't have stopped at their booth.
Right.
That didn't appeal
because it was at your own time. You could do it at your leisure.
Just clicked along and found, and then some didn't provide information. Right. It's going to change the way that we work together. We interact, but trade shows and events. I mean, this is the most important. So.
Yeah. I know the awards and recognition. They've been doing like a roundtable discussion type.
Oh, you were saying they were doing Zoom calls.
And it's good. It's kind of like that networking type of guided conversation. But that's important stuff. And being in business, you need that support.
Yeah, 100%. And every industry has it, and so for whatever business you're in, you're a part of something that has that. So, like I said, we will continue to say it's going to be positive. It's very hard to be a little positive today.
Yeah, it was a rough day.
positive. And mainly because I did get to enjoy outdoor dining last night.
Yeah, you were on a high.
I was.
So I
Just
did
sat
watch.
there.
I watched bowling last night.
Oh, I didn't watch it yet. So but we can talk about it. Doesn't matter.
PBA league was on. They pretty much showed the whole thing. I mean,
But that was
I
this year.
dozed
That's
off.
last year's.
It was 2020.
Really?
It said 2020. Yeah.
So it was taped. Wasn't live.
Yeah, it was taped. It was what's his name? The kid Anderson was on it.
Right.
His team was on there, and they talked about how when he didn't get picked last year,
Right.
how there was such a big discussion about it. Like it was the big scuttlebutt. Like, how did he not get picked?
Right.
And he shared that with us. Well, he didn't share that. He shared his personal reaction. Yeah, they showed the matches.
I actually thought that was last year's league.
No, I believe it was this year. It said 2020 when I looked at it.
Okay. I don't know. I thought for some reason.
And it was on for a long time.
Because now they announced the addition of the 2 women's teams. So that's got to get the draft is tonight on Flow Bowling.
Well, that's probably this was a lead up to.
Could be. Yeah. All right. I mean, bowling on TV is wonderful. So go watch whatever you can. We shared the schedule.
Great to watch.
I don't think I saved it in here.
Watch.
I had the schedule to show, but I didn't save it. So it might have ended. Oh, you know what? It ended tonight with that schedule. So go to pba.com, flowbowling.com, and check out. I mean, our professionals are on TV. Let's watch them. Let's support them. We need to be excited for live sports.
Yeah.
And Christine Dehart made sure to tell us that she's a fan, but she's a Yankee fan. Great. I'm happy for you, to our friend Christine. And then speaking of Christine, because we talked about events and looking forward to, sadly, Historic Richmond Town, I don't think I mentioned this, is canceled the Richmond County Fair over Labor Day weekend for this year.
We were talking about going forward.
So we won't have a county fair this year. And
you know what that means?
The Oktoberfest event will be the first official event, we believe. King of the Lanes, July 20th to 22nd is the next PBA event. Thank you, Ronnie, for sharing that. That's kind of like the King of the Hill type event, which they're a little campy. They got their crowns in West Malott. I think Bill O'Neill had won.
They probably had to have a big crown for West Malott.
Yeah, or they had to remake one because they might have been a little one and then put it on his.
Yeah, it's probably just sat on the top of his head.
Oh, hey, our meme of the day.
I like that one. And I don't have little kids, but it is actually very funny. Are we purchasing school clothes or more alcohol in August? Asking for a friend.
I thought that was hysterical. I saw that posted in a couple different places. Well, that's our meme of the day.
Very funny.
Oh, hey, we've got, we are still in phase 1 of Live from Rabs. We're going to be entering phase 2 soon when Naz and I just finally decide what phase 2 looks like. Yeah. But until then, tomorrow we talked a little bit about, but tomorrow we are on the road.
Al fresco
style. We're going to have Pam Silvestri on the show, and we are headed to Max's Esca tomorrow, up the block.
Oh, how wonderful.
Visit our friends, the Calicchios, Allison and Max, and we're going to go
enjoy some
lunch, late lunch outside. And we'll talk about food and the new scene and what's happening. So join us tomorrow for Food with Pam Silvestri, Staten Island's food guru, as we've done.
She is the go-to gal.
She certainly is. 9 a.m. Every morning on Facebook.
Every morning on Facebook.
She's been committed. She's writing so much this week.
Yeah.
Which is great because we need to stay on our toes.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, Friday, is bingo night.
Can't wait.
Bingo. So if you don't know anything about bingo, the Staten Island North Shore Rotary hosts virtual bingo night. And come and join us, sinorthshorerotary.org/bingo. It'll be the last bingo for a couple of weeks as we get into the holidays, the holiday next week. And so guaranteed jackpot of $500 for bingo. Last week, the money raffle was very large.
It was big.
Go check it out.
Yeah.
And join us for bingo.
It's a lot of fun.
But on our show Friday afternoon, we're going to talk hospitality with Christine Garlisi, the Nicocha Group.
Yep.
and we'll see what's happening over there on South Avenue. And she'll talk. I mean, they do so much in our community.
Yeah.
So, and Christine's great. If you follow anything that they do, there's a Facebook page which I'm sure she'll talk about. Love Staten Island.
That page is awesome.
It emits love and friendship and great things
Wonderful.
and positivity. So go check out the Facebook page if you're not on it. You get it. You put in a request and
Yeah.
they'll add you. And then before you know it, it'll be the weekend, and we'll be back at it. But we are here 6 days a week.
Until further notice.
6 days a week. Sundays off. Thursdays now on the road. Because it might just maybe not tomorrow, but I think maybe every Thursday
That would be something.
we might go on the road with Pam.
That would be something.
Maybe we will.
I like that idea.
We'll see how Pam feels tomorrow when we
Yeah.
sit together.
Well, we come up with these ideas, and then
Well, Pam,
Pam
although
will-
after tomorrow, Pam might not want to sit with us anymore.
she might not want to. You're right.
Uh,
Right now, she could just click a button and say,
but she could leave.
I lost my signal. I'm sorry."
But she hasn't. She hasn't.
She hasn't. She's hung in with us. She
Oh.
really, really has.
So, hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in and listening to Naz and I today.
Just jabber on today.
Naz, we talked about Broadway. We talked about baseball. We talked about business. We talked about bowling. We talked about food. We talked about, I mean, come on.
Talked about the election yesterday.
Yeah. Talked a lot about everything.
Yeah, we covered a lot of ground.
Nobody yelled at us?
Bad comments.
Oh. Before you know it, we'll be here on the weekend, and Monday we'll be here. Today is officially 100 days of our quarantine, shutdown, whatever the hell you want to call it these days, because we're kind of out of quarantine. We're allowed out. We can go out,
Right.
but we're still shut down. We're not fully reopened. So
Yeah.
I guess it's 100 days of the shutdown, right?
I think that we'll rephrase that to the shutdown.
100 days, Naz. 100. And before you know it, episode 100 will come. Today's episode 89. Tomorrow, 90.
90.
And we're
On the
celebrating.
road, al fresco.
Oh.
Awesome.
Is that our alarm? Is
Yes,
that our? Are we taking a hint? Hey, as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Naz, there's that like button.
Smash it. Smash it.
Share.
Smash it, share, subscribe. That way you get notified whenever we come live. You can go back and watch some of our old shows that have been epic. I mean, we have had
We
the
keep it real.
who's who. When I was watching the PBA show last night, I was like, yeah, they were on. We had them. Yep, they were on. Yeah, we spoke to them too. It was crazy.
We've had goats. We've had
We've had plenty
amateurs.
of goats. Yeah,
we've had the rookies.
It was. I have to tell you, it really was. It was pretty cool. It was cool to see that.
And Figgy. Nelson Figueroa was a guest
I
on our show.
almost called him today to ask him if he would come on and talk baseball with us.
So we should do that. Reach out to him. You guys are hearing it here. First I'm hearing of it too. So she's going to call Figgy and try to get him back, and we'll talk about the new season.
See what
He should be
thinks.
excited, and maybe he's got some work. Hopefully he's got work lined up. For
I
himself.
hope he does. I hope he does.
So in the meantime, stay safe.
Yes.
Get a haircut if you need one.
Right. Still wash your hands though. That remains a thing.
And your mask is not a chin strap.
It's not a chin strap. It goes over your nose and your mouth.
Oh, until then, we will see you tomorrow when we're on the road. Thanks for watching.
That was awesome. Thank you.